Good day and welcome to EDMS, where engineering drawing is made clear, structured and easy to master. In today's lesson, we are going to learn how to construct a regular hexagon step by step. And whether you're preparing for the exams or just want to improve your skills, please make sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you never miss a lesson. For this lesson, we are going to do a few scenarios regarding a regular hexagon. I'm going to start with the first hexagon. I'm going to put it right here. And we are going to implement what is needed to be able to construct this hexagon. We're going to start with the most basic form, which is we are going to use our 60-degree and 30-degree triangle. Now, if a hexagon is given in this manner like here, we are going to use, you can use a few methods, but we are going to start with the most basic one, which is your 60 and 30-degree triangle. So if you look carefully, you'll see that it has a base of 28. So I'm going to start with the base here of 28. I'm drawing a baseline of 28. Then on these end points of this line, we are going to draw lines at 60 degrees. Why 60 degrees? Because the corners of a hexagon is constructed at 60 degrees. So from the right side here, I'm going to draw firstly a very light line, a construction line of 60 degrees. Then on the left side as well, we construct a 60-degree line here. And what you can do now is you can use your compass. You set this on the base, which was 28. You use this dimension to come mark off the length on the right side there, and also here on the left. There where those points are, we can close it or harden the line until that point there. Then again. Now for the second part, on that point over there, I want to go in the opposite direction at 60 degrees, meaning we want to go in this direction. It needs to look like the hexagon in the given figure above here. So from that point, we're going to go 60 degrees. And from this point, we're going to go 60 degrees. So 60 degrees in this direction, light. 60 degrees in this direction, light. You don't need to go measure 28 again now. You can, if you want to, you can use your compass. But you can also just project one of these corners up to those 60-degree lines, just to get a mark. I'll do it lightly. So over there. And there where that line touches that line, that is your points. So I just projected that line over there. Close this at 60 degrees. And we close it on this side at 60 degrees. Okay, that is the first method, only using our set square and our 60 and 30-degree triangle. Now for the second one, I'm going to put it up here. Let's say they gave you the hexagon in this orientation, also with a base of 28. But now you will see that there's not a flat line down here, but rather a point. And because it has a point now, the orientation has changed of the hexagon. Now these two lines are going to lie at 30 degrees, not 60, but rather 30, because this thing has orientated, so that's 60 rotated to a 30 here. So I'm going to make a starting point for myself here. And we are doing this assuming we do not have starting points. I'll later do one with a starting point. So I'm going to draw a light line at 30 degrees in that direction. I'm going to draw a light line of 30 degrees in this direction. Knowing that the base, or all the sides, are at 28, we can then go measure with our ruler, or you can use your compass at 28. But let's do the ruler for this example. So 28, I make a mark. On that mark there, I am going to project this point over horizontally to this line here, light. Where those two points meet the 30-degree line, we are going to draw a vertical line upwards. So we're doing it light first, and then after all of the construction, we will harden it. Now we can go again, measure 28. This is just a few examples. There are a lot more, but you must find a method that works for you and that you understand. 28. I'm going to construct that over. So on these 2 points, we are going to construct 30-degree lines. This one in that direction and this one in that direction, and where they meet will be our point. So 30 degrees and 30 degrees. This one I'm going to start with a dark line now. And now we can harden all our lines for our hexagon. You can use this method if they stated that this was a starting position A. Maybe given here like in the figure. Let's say A was the starting position here. Then you could have go 30 and 30. Okay, that's our second one. Now let's look at the third method that we can use. Let's say the hexagon is given to you in this form or manner. How will we go about this? Now you will see that you will have a starting position, or that you have a starting position in the middle. And they tend to ask this quite a lot in the exams or tests. But when you have a starting position in the middle, we are going to do it as follows. Firstly, I'm going to make myself a starting point here, which is the middle point here. In the middle, I am going to construct a center line. A center line is a chain line, so it's long, short, in both directions. So it's short, long, short, long. Now, if you look carefully, you will see that the circle, they constructed already a circle in here. But it can be that they give you the hexagon like this without that thin circle line inside. And it's given with a diameter of 54. Now if you take 54 divided by 2, what do we get? It's 54 divided by 2, it gives me 27. So I need to set my compass on 27. Then I am going to draw a light circle in construction. This should be done light, because that is not part of the final product. And now it is very easy to construct the hexagon. All that we need to do now is we need to draw tangent lines, meaning they are lines that only touches the arc of the circle. The lines are not allowed to go through the circle, but they should rather touch the arc of the circle. And because it's in this orientation, I know that these lines here should be at 30 degrees, 30 and 30, and then the two vertical lines running down here on the left and the right. So I'm going to start here down here, light first. Why light? Because we don't want to go hard too early, and then we need to erase parts that are not applicable. I'm going to draw a 30-degree line here as well, and a 30-degree line here. Now, on the sides here, they are also tangent lines. I'm going to draw the vertical line from that 30-degree line to that one over there, and from that line to that line over there. And there we can construct our hexagon. This method you will use if they ask you to draw a hexagon, but they give you a dimension from this side to this side. They did not give us a dimension of one of the sides, but rather they gave us a dimension from the one side of the hexagon to the other side of the hexagon. So this is the method that you will use to construct the hexagon. You will use the same method if the orientation is rotated. So let's say instead of points down here, we had a line, the flat line of a base. We would have used the same method if they still gave us the dimension from one side to the other. But let's say they gave us a dimension from the one point to this point. How will we do that? Let me show you. Okay, so let's say they gave you something like this. What will we need to do? I'm going to give myself a starting point here as well, with a center line, long, short, long, short. What will I do if they give me a dimension from one point to a other point, like the figure here? So I'm going to construct a circle again. Now if this circle has a diameter of 58, or they tell you that from that point to that point is 58, we are going to use our compass once again. 58 divided by 2 is 29. So I'm going to set my compass on 29. I'm going to construct a large circle. And now, instead of drawing the hexagon on the outside of the circle like the previous one, we are now going to do it in the inside. And when you look at the given here, you will see that the corners of the hexagon is touching the center lines here. Do you agree? So that means we're keeping this on 29. We keep this on 29. Now I'm going to put the sharp point here, where the center line and the arc of the circle meets. I'm going to construct an arc at the top and one down here. And then I'm going to move this sharp point to the left side, where the arc and the center line meets. Construct one there at the top and one here at the bottom. Guess what are we going to do? Yes, we are going to connect the dots. And you could have also have used your 60 degrees to check yourself. So from that point there, or that corner there, all the way up to that arc we've made. From this point here, all the way down to that arc we made. So the big difference between the two is with the previous one, our hexagon was on the outside of the circle. With this one, the hexagon is in the inside. It all depends on the given information. So you need to check the question and evaluate the question before you start constructing. Like that. Okay? Now let's say they give you something like this. Now the hexagon is orientated at a specific degrees. And they tend to ask this quite a lot as well, because they want to test your knowledge here. So they gave you a starting position, which will be a A. So let's make an A here. And from that A, we need to draw a line of 45 degrees. So I'm going to draw first a line. This is a construction line. A light line first. And now I'm going to go mark off the 28. This line is at 45 degrees. So 28 is over there. I can draw that line hard. And now we are going to use for this method, when they give it to you in this format, we are going to use our compass. So I'm going to put my sharp point on the one end of the line, the lead there to the starting position, which was A. Then I am going to draw a light arc like so. Now I'm taking my compass, I'm putting the sharp point on this part of the line, the starting position. I'm taking the lead to the end point there. And I am constructing another arc again. It is clear that those two arcs meet there in the middle. Now I'm putting my sharp point there where those two lines met. I did not change my compass. And now I draw a light circle. Can you see what's going to happen here? We are going to keep our compass on 29 and we're going to do the same like we did here. But now I'm going to put my point there on that end point there. If I continued with this circle or this arc there, I would have gotten a mark on that line there. So we can just tick off here 28. We can tick off here 28. Now I move the sharp point to that point there. And I tick off again 28. And I tick off again 28. So there's my points. All that I do now is using a ruler. We go and connect them. So from the one point to the other point, We connect it as one solid line. And that should be our final hexagon. And that is how you construct a hexagon if it's given in this orientation. Okay, I hope that helped you a lot. Please, if you found this helpful in any way, then consider subscribing and turning on your notifications for future videos. Goodbye everyone, and good luck with your engineering drawing.